We were just sorting a tech issue. We have a new sound system today. Take a moment to ground yourselves and come in and be together on this beautiful morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Huntington. I'm Karen, today's worship associate. So as Israel pointed out, we have a new sound system, and that is the good news. The not so good news is that doesn't seem to be connected to the assisted listening devices.
Oh, we're good.
We're good? Oh, a miracle happened. Woo-hoo! Okay, thank you. Thank you for your patience. And we're excited about the new system, and we hope you are too. If you're visiting today, we're really glad you're here. You don't need to know the choreography, and you won't be singled out. Participate in whatever way fits you, singing, listening, quiet reflection, or simply being in the room. Unitarian Universalists are a mixed belief community. What binds us isn't one answer to life's mysteries, but a shared commitment to live with integrity, compassion, and accountability in an interconnected world. Today is the winter solstice, the turning point of the year, and it's also the ending of Hanukkah, dedication and slowing, growing light. So we're holding both, the honest dark and the practice of adding light in human-sized ways. This service is slightly different shape. We'll move through a story-led arc, including a brief dramatic review, and later an invitation to write a few short truths. The prompts will be on the screen, and you'll get clear directions when it's time. Also, we do have special guests this morning, a field reporter on an important assignment, and one holy maybe, who asked to be called Maybe, and has also asked us not to be weird about it. You'll understand shortly. A few reminders before we begin. Our Christmas Eve service is this Wednesday at 5 p.m. This year we'll combine two beloved traditions, the family-friendly pageant and a contemplative candlelit service. Our cookie shower will follow, and if you're able to contribute a sweet treat, please deliver your cookies to the kitchen before 5 p.m. One quick invitation before you leave today. Right outside the main entrance is our welcome garden, a native plants garden planted by volunteers in collaboration with local Girl Scouts. We meant to do a formal dedication back in November, and then life happened. So today, we're keeping it simple. After the service, take a few minutes out there. You should receive a sheet on your way in with a short garden field notes practice. If you didn't, there are extras by the door. And after the service today, we also have our monthly potluck. So please join us if you can. And please remember our little red wagon, which is always collecting food in the foyer of our building. We made a connection with the Long Island Immigrant Justice Alliance. Help us fill their baskets with food for the holiday season. And for more updates about all the goings-on at our fellowship, please see our weekly flash, which goes out on Thursdays, or go to our website at uufh.org. And now I invite you to let the room hold you for a moment as the turning of the season holds all of us. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we light a chalice to mark this time as different, a shared space for truth-telling, courage, and care. Valerie Skopaz will light our chalice today. On this solstice morning, we remember that the turning is real, whether we notice it or not. And in Hanukkah week, we remember that light is not an instant rescue. It's a practice. It's something we add and share and keep adding. We light this flame not as proof, but as practice. A small, steady yes in a season of long nights. May it remind us we do not carry the dark alone. We do not carry the light alone. And we can keep turning toward one another again and again. Thank you, Valerie. We're going to receive our offering now. It's early in the service today, and that's intentional. Think of this as an early act of participation and not an interruption. In Unitarian Universalism, the offering isn't about earning belonging. It's about supporting the shared work, sustaining community care, and showing up beyond the walls when our neighbors need us. Half of our plate this December is shared with Family Service League as part of our commitment to care in the wider community. If you're visiting or new, please feel no pressure to give. Your presence is already a gift. Ushers will come forward now, and you can also give online by following the instructions on the screen. Our opening hymn is Dark of Winter, number 55. The children may go to Ari at this time. Thank you, Dylan.
If you're feeling a little disoriented by something new, we all get that way sometimes. This morning is a little different. Not surprised you're all about to be in a play different, but some of us are. More like we're going to try to tell the truth sideways today. Because sometimes that's the only way that the truth can land for us on certain days and certain times. We need to do something new and try something new. I keep this book with me a lot. You might have seen me holding it before. By the way, I'm Reverend Israel. I'm the minister here, if you don't know me. I keep this with me because ministry is basically noticing things that people don't have words for yet. And then trying with mixed success to find words that don't cheapen them. And also because the stuff of life is always moving. Nothing stays pinned down in the same for long. There are a lot of reasons that I wake up in the middle of the night. I don't know about you. Kids, worry, wonder, and the way that time keeps turning whether or not we're ready. And then there's this other thing, these ideas that come, that show up out of nowhere in the middle of the night when I'm thinking about all of those things. Ideas that bubble up like CO2 in seltzer water. You don't see them while they're dissolved in there, but then they rise and they insist on showing themselves, on being real, on feeling real for a moment. Spiritual practice is about trying to make sense of those bubbles. We mythologize divine inspiration into burning bushes and angel choirs over centuries, but most of the messages that I've received when I've had those thoughts, like those bubbles in the seltzer water, there's something smaller that I can't shake. A question that won't let me go back to sleep. A still, small voice that doesn't force itself, but just asks for my attention. Last night I got one. It said, "Meet me at the turning," and yes, that means the solstice, "in the hall. Bring something to write with, and leave your certainty at home." And first I thought that sounds a bit odd. And then I remembered confronting uncertainty is kind of my job. Also, certainty for a minister is like glitter. It gets everywhere and somehow it always causes problems. In case you missed it, today is the winter solstice, the farthest tilt, the longest night, and it's the ending of Hanukkah, 8 nights of adding light, one honest increment at a time. So I've been told by this message that I don't believe in. I'm not sure I believe in its source. I've been told that we're doing something simple and strange today. And it's called a solstice and annual review. And it's not to grade anyone on your performance or our performance. It's to tell the truth about what it costs to be human. And what keeps coming back to us. Okay, let's start. So whoever called me into this, here I am. Show yourself.
You came.
I came because you asked, and because I'm tired of pretending we can think that our only way out of darkness is without touching anything real. Let's sit. Let's sit down. Not a trial that we're doing here today, not a purity test, not a debate club. You talk, all right. I'll try not to turn it into a sermon while we're talking, I promise.
I didn't mean to hand you something this heavy.
Life is heavy. It's what we do with it and how we have each other to help that counts. Okay. So here's the question that I have to ask you. What is the name that we are supposed to use for today? The real one. The one that feels real.
Name. I am breath, life, being itself. Some call me God when they have an army of certainty behind them. Some call me the universe when they're trying not to get too weird about it. Some call me nothing at all, and still somehow manage to love their screaming kid at 2 a.m. And when people are heartbroken or furious, I get a lot of nicknames not fit for print. But the one that fits today, call me Holy Maybe. Or just maybe. It's more honest.
Maybe. Well, that's great. That will certainly inspire a lot of followers. The reason for this review, as I was told, is continuation of the Earth experiment is under evaluation. That's what the text said.
Under evaluation by whom?
By you. By us. By the part of reality that hasn't decided yet whether consciousness is a gift or a brilliant mistake.
It's both.
So you admit you started it.
I didn't start it like a CEO launches a new platform. I started it the way you start talking into the dark when you can't stand being alone. I wanted relationship, not worship, not compliance, not people trying to impress me. I wanted someone to notice me back, to notice each other, to make something together.
So how's that going?
Ooh, it's messy. It's beautiful. And sometimes heartbreakingly unbearable. You know, love.
Okay, how about some findings for the file, shall we? And before you tell me that you already know what I brought you, don't. You catch the big stuff, the macro, wars, elections, extinctions, stock markets, the whole tragic opera. I collect the small stuff here on the gram, the field notes. The moments that nobody headlines, but everybody lives. Exhibit A, the obvious. People are tired this year. Tired. Not I need a nap tired, more like I'm carrying too many things tired. Someone is keeping their kid calm in a grocery store, whispering, breathe with me, we're safe, we're safe. And they're not sure if they mean it for themselves or for the kid. Someone's answering emails while their heart is breaking because capitalism doesn't accept grief as a valid excuse. Someone is lonely in a house full of people. Someone is angry, and it keeps leaking out sideways. Someone is trying hard not to go numb. Exhibit B, the part that we forget. If you draw a line straight through the earth from here to the other side, it's summer solstice there. The brightest day, the beginning, the slow turn towards night. So the full truth is that the planet holds all of this at once, which means that my field notes are incomplete, which means that our pain is real, but it is not the whole data set.
That's why I gave you seasons. So you'd learn that now is real, but also not forever.
Yeah, and yet also, we keep carving every season into stone. We act like the chapter that we're in is the whole entire book.
Because you crave certainty, clean stories, heroes and villains, triumphs and losses, light and dark. And I keep offering something harder to accept, real life, a spectrum, a sphere, a turning.
Exhibit C, the stubborn part that I was reminded over and over again last night when I was woken up. New life continues. Not because the world is magically safe, but not because the future is guaranteed, but because love keeps reaching anyway.
And that's the only kind of love there is.
But here's the problem. This annual review, according to my notes, requires a decision. Do we keep going? Or do we let the holy maybe go silent?
You're making it sound like we're canceling a show called Existence.
What are you deciding then?
whether I keep trying to dwell with you and risk being reduced to a spiritual vending machine. Because you keep misunderstanding me. You keep trying to make this transactional, as in, if I do everything right, I'll be spared. You keep treating suffering like proof that you failed some sort of cosmic test. I never asked for bargains. I asked for partnership. And partnership has to be renegotiated again and again on the ground, in kitchens, in hospital waiting rooms, in traffic, in board meetings, in the text you almost don't send and then send anyway.
So what counts? What actually counts?
Not speeches, not purity, not performative goodness. The evidence is, where did you turn toward one another anyway? Where did you carry light without lying about the darkness? Where did you tell the truth and still chose relationships?
Okay. The next part of my notes says that here is where you all come in. You're not an audience today. You're not even a congregation. You're our primary sources. You're our witnesses. In a little bit, you're going to be invited to give me some notes for the file. Not polished, not inspirational messages, just honest notes, honest field notes about your life. Things like, here's what I'm carrying today. Here's what I need. Here's the help that I offered someone else when they needed it. Here's a small light I saw. Here's what I am turning into again and again. And yes, you can make up your own category, UU style.
And if all you've got is doubt, questions, a mess of half-formed prayers, if all you've got is a holy maybe, know this: honesty is a form of light too. Not the blinding kind, the kind you can actually live by.
So the question is, what do you do with a holy maybe right before the turning?
One more exhibit for the record. A vintage field note from the archives. Kohelet, the teacher. Everything is havel, vapor, breath on cold morning. And there's a season for everything. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to hold on, and a time to let go.
I wasn't trying to cheer you up. I was trying to tell the truth.
I have a couple more personal field notes that I want to enter into the file today for our annual review. Not a theory, not an argument, just a report from the scene. Here's one. A few nights ago, it was a dark day. You probably know that. A day that got dark early like it does now, the kind of dark that shows up at 4 o'clock and acts like it pays rent. One of my kids had a really hard day, and that meant I also had a really hard day. I have a lot of those. But they're not what you might think. Not one big catastrophe, just the slow pileup of the day. Overstimulation, disappointment. One too many demands from the world until the body finally says, nope, I'm done. By bedtime, we were all kind of fried. Their nervous system was loud, and mine was trying to pretend like it wasn't. They climbed into bed and they did the thing that kids do. When they're trying to be brave, they ask for something small, like it's no big deal. While their whole body was really begging for safety. I said, can you stay? Normally I don't sleep in the bed with them. I said, can you stay? And then the one that really got me was scratch my back. Not as a cute ritual, but as a lifeline, as I knew it. So I sat on the edge of their bed, and I scratched these slow circles between their shoulder blades with my uncut fingernails that are getting a little long. And I could feel, as I did that, the moment that their breathing started to come back online. But here's the thing that I didn't expect from that. I could feel my breathing coming back online too. Not because that solved any of the actual problems exactly, or any of the bigger ones in the world, but just because I stopped trying to manage the moment and I chose presence. And in that motion, I began to feel someone scratching my back too. And it was a memory of my grandmother scratching my back when I was a kid. How she used to do the same thing for me on nights when I couldn't settle, when it was dark and the night felt endless to me. Her hand steady up and down, unimpressed by drama, as if to say, you don't have to win the night, you just have to breathe through it, and I'll breathe through it with you. That's my first piece of testimony for this review. Sometimes the light is not a breakthrough. Sometimes the light is just a hand that stays with us. Which brings us to the turning itself. This morning, the solstice happened over us almost actually exactly an hour ago at 10:03 a.m. And the solstice it's not symbolic. It didn't happen because we're ready for it. It happened whether we noticed it or not. It's geometry. It's astronomy. It's physics. The earth tilted as far as it tilts. An actual measurable turning point. We say often when talking about the solstice that it stands still. Maybe you've heard that before. But in truth, it doesn't stand still. Nothing does. And here's the other detail that keeps messing with my mind a little bit this morning, in the best way. And you heard it just a minute ago. If you draw a line, that line straight through the earth from here to the other side, it's solstice on the other side, but it's the summer solstice. We're here at the deep end of the night, beginning our slow return towards longer days. And those people, I'm probably in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but let's say the closest land point, they're at the peak of light, beginning their slow return towards longer nights. So I think the spiritual practice isn't, today's the solstice, it's the darkest day of the year. The spiritual practice is this. It's the darkest day of the year here, but my perspective is partial. I hear them fixing it. My perspective is partial. this spiritual practice says, yeah, that doesn't erase your pain. That doesn't erase darkness. Knowing that it's light somewhere else does not erase darkness, yes. It just saves us from the lie that says, this season that I'm in right now, this is the whole story forever. And if you're the kind of person who, like me, sometimes tends to that spiral, that in those moments, that perspective is an abstract, knowing that this season is not forever. It's medicine. Ecclesiastes, the reading that you heard, or Kohelet, the teacher, which is my absolute favorite part of the Bible, and I don't talk about the Bible from this point too often, but this is my favorite, so I do share it with you. Kohelet, the teacher, our ancient realist, the one who looks at the world and refuses to lie about it, says that about everything, the good and the bad, that it's hevel. A lot of our English translations for that flatten that into meaninglessness, which I think is a cop-out. And it's only a translation. Because hevel is closer to breath, vapor, fog, like the kind of cloud that you see when you exhale cold air. Some real and present, but impossible to grab like a toddler and hold and make still. Kohelet keeps pointing at the same humbling pattern in the world. The wheel turns, generations come and go, rivers run to the sea, but the sea is never full. And then right when you expect him to spiral, there's a stubborn insistence. So eat, drink, love, do the work that's in front of you, not because it guarantees safety or certainty, because it's what's real. It may be hevel, but it's real. And that brings us to Hanukkah, which sits right on the top of this season like a tiny, persistent protest, I think. Not just a story of miracles. Because in the rabbinic telling, when the temple is rededicated, which is what Hanukkah is about, the temple lamp being rededicated, they go looking for oil, and they find that the oil has been rendered ritually impure, which is a fancy way of saying it didn't meet their standards for use. Except for one container. That was enough for 1 day, but it lasted 8. You know that familiar story, perhaps. That's the familiar story. But there's another detail that changes everything for me. A lot of Jewish teachers ask a sharp, practical question. Why didn't they use the impure oil if they needed it? In other words, in communal needs, sometimes you proceed even when things are not perfect. Which means I think the most important tension underneath that story might not be, will the universe provide us a supernatural refill when we need it? It might be, will we participate in life before we feel perfect or worthy? Will we bring what we have, even if it's dusty, cloudy oil? Will we light our lights with hands that shake? Will we stop waiting for the perfect vision of ourselves to show up? Because that's what we humans like to do. That's what we like to do. We delay what is good sometimes. I think we might delay an apology until we can do it flawlessly, or we might delay asking for help until we figure out how to ask in just the right way. We might delay love until we feel lovable. And then the darkness is given extra time. So here's a habit that I'm trying to retire from my own inner life. And I call it vending machine spirituality. The part of me, or at least my past, that tells me, insert good behavior, receive safety. And then act shocked when the vending machine is frequently out of order, or out of at least the thing that I want. And if I'm being really honest, there's also a bribe the universe reflex in me sometimes. The part of me that thinks that I can pay reality to leave the people I love alone. I hate that part. And it's just so very human. Some grown-ups might call it insurance policy theology too. But reality says this: that's not how the world works. That's not how bodies work. That's not how grief works. That's definitely not how love works. The practice we're reaching for today isn't transaction. It's covenant. What we call covenant is relationship. Not can we prove that the world is good so that we feel comfortable being in it? Can't do that. But can we keep choosing to dwell with each other and with uncertainty anyway? I want to be careful here too, because this idea of keep turning toward in life and putting yourself out there can sound like a command to get out there and hustle and to produce and to be cheerful, right? To bring light like it's a performance. Sometimes the most faithful thing, the most faithful turning, if you even want to use that word, the most authentic way to keep turning is not doing more. Sometimes the turning is just staying human. It's resting. It's telling the truth. It's letting someone else hold the light for a little while. It's sharing the light. Because, think about it, plants don't earn sun, but they lean towards it anyway. They don't earn it. And in winter, they conserve. They deepen their roots. They do quiet work underground. So if you are in an underground season right now, in this season of light, I'm not here to shame you with lantern talk. I'm here to remind you, underground is also part of the cycle too. Dark can be grief. Dark can be rest. Dark can be gestation. And still the turning continues, which is why we're going to do the field notes. We call this moments of the heart, by the way, most of the time. We're doing this not to perform hope, but to keep a community alive. We tell the truth in the same room. We witness one another without fixing one another. We borrow steadiness in this process. We pass the flame hand to hand in that sense. So in a moment, if you haven't already, you'll be invited to write a line or two, or to draw something. You can use the prompts that you see on the screen. I kind of tailored them for what we're talking about today, if that resonates with you. And if all you've got is doubt or uncertainty, that counts too. If all you've got is a holy maybe, that counts too. Honesty is also a form of light. We need not forget that. Before we do, I'll just say this. This is my testimony at the turning. The solstice doesn't ask permission to turn, and neither does love when it's real. So we practice the only thing that actually seems to make life livable. We turn towards one another. Not perfectly, not constantly, but honestly and together. So if you've brought something that you wanted to share today, a field note for the file, now's the time that you're invited to bring those up. And we'll read the ones that you bring up aloud. If you don't want specifically that read aloud, if you just want me to see it or you just need to write it down, you can hold on to it. And if it's written and you want me to see it but not read it, just mark it. And you're invited to light a candle too, so you can feel the passing the light to each other. I don't see anyone. At this table that we're sitting, kind of like we're sitting here, old friends, sharing some conversation and sharing our lives, I bring here to this table as evidence the stuff of life. A small light. Watching a poignant comedy about our connectedness through relationship. Good fortune. My heart is still broken over the loss of our beloved dog, the light of our lives. Infinite gratitude, yes, to Jim Monnier and Debbie Hokovar, who practically slept here this week working on our new sound system. I'm worried about our daughter, and I'm mad at my husband. I'm carrying the burden of a family I love, but they don't agree on many things, and that has led to a sad situation. We are happy to be together with our family and cats this holiday. The light I saw, that deepening one's roots is a way of loving. Came out to my family this year, fully, feeling the love and light, because I get to bring my partner to Christmas for the first time. Happy birthday to my wonderful husband, Jade. I'm helping a friend grieve her father's passing. And someone wrote us a poem for today, and I would be happy to read it. Gather around with family, for happiness and joy may bring to you. Life is a gift to gather us all happily and peacefully. With love and care for all, I wish you all a happy holiday with love and joy for everyone. And we have some more. There is an institution provided by the U.S. Constitution that has never been used, but the holy maybe is saying it's time to use it. Maybe. That's good. A constitutional convention of elected delegates. It might destroy the country, but it might also give it, I think, I don't know what that last part says. It might also solve it. Maybe. Light. When I looked into your eyes, to stay centered in light, unlimited love. Light. The light that is in everyone. My 81-year-old mom broke her arm in Wisconsin. I wish I could help her. My uncle, her brother, is also nearing the end with Parkinson's disease in Texas. And I wish I was closer to him too. A little break in time with my partner, which the UU provided with Parents' Night Out. Truly thankful. For all that we bring here to this space, for all that we carry every day, for all of those things on our hearts that I know are on your hearts, even if you didn't write them down. For those things that words cannot express. We give thanks for life itself. And we give thanks for the fact that we are here to help each other when it is hard. Let's sing our song, Spirit of Life. You can remain seated. I would have offered you a cup of coffee, but I'm genuinely not sure what's digestible for you. So, okay. Closing notes for the file. You know what? I'm going to put my pen away because this does not require more notes. This part just requires presence. I read every line, all of it. The grief, the gratitude, the rage, the tiny, brave things that people do, the I don't know, the I'm trying, the please God, the please don't ask me to say God. This is what it looks like when people tell the truth in a room together. It's not magical, it's not a slogan, it's just breath. Hevel, vapor. You try to clutch it, and it slips through your fingers, but it changes the air.
And
the results are inconvenient, because it's not a neat moral lesson, this world. It's not love always wins. But it's not people are always terrible either. It's mixed, it's human, but it's a lot of fog. And it's also unmistakable. People keep turning toward each other anyway.
And that is the only evidence I ever wanted.
There's something else I learned too. A lot of these notes, they weren't light. They were dark. Real dark. But not the kind that you might think, not failure dark, not shame dark, the kind of dark where roots grow. The kind of dark where people survive by borrowing each other's light. The kind of dark where showing up is an act of resistance. And I think that counts as turning toward too.
It does. Turning toward isn't manufacturing optimism. Turning is choosing again without guarantees.
Okay. Decision time. Do we continue? Do you, as you said, dwell? Can you stay with us in this? Or more importantly, honestly, can we stay with each other in this together?
I started this because I wanted relationship. I don't want you scared into goodness. I don't want you bribing the universe with performance. I want you telling the truth and staying in relationship anyway. I wanted to be met, to be seen in the way you see each other when you're brave enough to tell the truth. And today, you did that. Not perfectly, not constantly, but enough to make it real. So, yes. Continuing. Not as a reward, not as a verdict on who's good, as a covenant. We will keep practicing relationship in a world that keeps giving us reasons not to.
So we are responsible, but not as punishment, as participation. The earth keeps turning whether we participate or not. But relationship doesn't, it can't. That part's on us.
One last thing. Solstice is a turning point, not a victory. The light doesn't come back all at once. It returns the way it did today. Small, added, shared. And Hanukkah knows this too. Not one big fix. Dedication, night after night. Using what you have. Even if the oil is a little smoky. Even if your hands are shaking. Even if you're tired.
To you. You do the honors.
So take this with you. When you don't know what to do, turn toward. When you're tempted to go numb, turn toward. When you're sure it won't matter, turn toward anyway. Not as a performance, but as a practice.
Meeting adjourned. We'll be back at the next turning, for sure, because you will be. Because the world will be. Because no one finishes being human. We just keep practicing. Keep turning toward.